Hello guys, welcome to our class, the first class of the week. In this class, I am going to talk about the arms race, and I am also going to talk about the end of the Soviet Union. To start this topic, you need to know what is this. Okay? So an arm race is when two or more countries increase the size and the quality of military resources to gain military and political superiority over one another. The meaning of this exactly is like a competition between two countries. In this case, we are talking about United States of America and the Soviet Union. They were having this competition, this race about armament, about creating tanks and bombs and planes and guns to lead to war. Here I have a picture for you so you can see how was during that time. This is a factory and they were building or creating guns here. See these things here? This goes in the front part of a tank. If I am not mistaken, this is a barrel. So they were building some tanks and some guns, and I see these big things here. They look like bombs. So they had these factories working on that. Sir Edward Grey said, "The moral is obvious, but it is the great armaments that lead to war." By this he refers to, regardless the morals or the principles, having all this shipment, all these armaments at hand, it was inevitable to not use it. Because imagine if they had all this, own all that, it was inevitable to go to war. They say, okay, we have the tanks, we have the bombs, we have all these weapons, we can use it. Let's go to war. Here we have a picture of Sir Edward Grey. Now, I want you to see this picture. It's like a cartoon. Actually, it's a cartoon. And you can see the two sides. We have USA here, and we have the Soviet Union here. So we have this little boy here. He's dressed up as Uncle Sam, representing the United States. And he is telling this little guy here that he can build anything you can. He can do it bigger. And he said, no, you can't. And he says, yes, I can. And he says, okay, if you can make it bigger, I'm going to build more of them. See? And they have all this armament here. So, what was this race about, this competition? USA and the Soviet Union tried to be the first to build new arms or weapons, okay? Some of them very powerful up the atomic bomb. Here we have some pictures. This was the atomic bomb. The size was like a car, I think, if I am not mistaken again. And this is how it looks exploding. Neither country, I'm talking about other countries, neither of them wanted to use this type of weapons, okay? But these two countries, the USA and the Soviet Union, they wanted to have more than the other. I made a mistake here. I'm missing a letter H. Sorry. Remember, all this was about power. This was a race, a competition to see which of the countries were the powerful one. Okay, let's continue with the next. Okay, here. Americans, the people in the United States, they wanted the government to spend less in guns, bombs, and planes. Of course, because they didn't want to have war. And others felt that if each side had the same number of weapons, neither side would go to war. What do you think about this? For example, okay, we are going to have just a few tanks and a few planes, and both United States and the Soviet Union say, okay, we are going to have the same amount and we are not coming to war anymore. Do you think that was possible? Or that is possible now? I don't think so. See, remember, a war is something about power. It's always about power, and it's always about control. They want to control many other countries, and they want to control things like oil and gold. And soon it will be water. And let's see what happens. Oops. Okay. Now here, in 1963, the USA and the Soviet Union and Great Britain, they agreed to stop testing weapons. They say, okay, no more. We cannot be doing this. And they actually agreed to make fewer powerful weapons, okay? And when we say powerful, we are talking about nuclear weapons, like the atomic bomb. Here in the picture, we can see this is President Reagan, and this is the Soviet Union leader, Gorbachev. They're playing this to see who can win, and they're sitting on these bombs. See? Do you get the idea of this picture? Now let's talk about the START. The Strategic Arms Reduction Talks. These began in 1982, but until 1991, President George Bush, the father, and the Soviet leader Gorbachev, they signed the START I treaty. You remember what a treaty is? Okay, in this treaty, they agreed to destroy many atomic weapons. Here in the picture, we can see them signing, okay? And then, with the years, they continued doing this. We have another picture here. See, we see President Barack Obama, the former president of the United States. And in here in 2019, we see President Putin and President Trump. They are the presidents of each nation these days, okay? Because now we are going to talk about the end of the Soviet Union, and we are going to know who this man is. See? Let's talk about the end of the Soviet Union. After many, many years, the Cold War began to slow down, and the two countries were friendlier between each other. The Soviet Union itself, they started to change. They were having many problems. One of those problems was they have not growing enough food for the people. And people were not happy since they wanted to vote or speak out. They didn't have these rights. Remember, they were a communist country, and they wanted freedom since they were under the communist regime. Remember? We were talking about communism last class. So Gorbachev asked for help to the Western countries. He met with President Reagan and later with President Bush, the father, okay? In the late 80s, people from the communist countries did not want to be controlled by the Soviets. So in 1989, the German East government took down the Berlin Wall. Remember about the Berlin Wall? It was the wall divided into two Germanys. In 1991, some communist leaders signed a treaty giving the people more freedom. Other leaders, the communist leaders, they were worried about this. They said that they were destroying communism and the Soviet Union. These leaders tried to stop all. I'm missing a letter I here, sorry. They tried to stop all this, but they failed. So the communists lost all the power. And in December 1991, the Soviet Union broke into many other nations, and Boris Yeltsin became the leader of the strongest of the other nations. There were many other nations like Poland, like I don't remember in this moment, but the strongest nation was Russia. And here we have. This is the map, and it has the colors of the flag. And this country has as president this man over here, President Putin. He has been the president since 2006 until now, this day that we're on now. So you can see this presentation as many times as you need, so you can work on classwork and homework. I want to tell you that you are doing a great job, and I want you to be safe, okay? Be safe, stay at home, and may God bless you all. Bye, guys.